Bloop. So, we are going to talk, well, I'm going to talk about nutrition. I've got Flash Daytona coming up next week. And I have to admit, my hair's so bad. This is my morning hair, sorry, I just threw a shirt on. And I'm not in the best shape. I had a few setbacks, but that's my own problem. So I'm going to use every trick in the book to save as much time as possible. So I'm going to talk about the nutrition side and how I'm going to, and the little things that I like to do. Now, if you would have known me from my cycling, I always raced in a skin suit, never had pockets, and I had everything in a soft Flash Air, something like this. And I just put gels in here, and this was adequate amount of carbohydrate for the race. And then I sort of upgraded a little, and then I had, in the road cycling, you have 2 bottles. In the back bottle, I had all gels and a little bit of water. And then in the front, I'd had some type of sports drink. And I'm in Daytona, the bike leg is 2 hours, 80 kilometers. It shouldn't be 2 hours, but it should be a bit faster than that. But I'm gonna have 2 hours of nutrition in my race bottle. Now, in my race bottle. So this thing here, this is the what do you guys call it in triathlons? Not race bottle, fluid something, I don't know. So in here, I've extended this. This is something I made. This is a system for the Cube bike. Don't buy one, but it's sorry, I'm gonna hassle Cube for the rest of my rest of the year. Now this holds 750 milliliters, so that is 2 of these bad boys, which is big bottles, so it's quite a lot of fluid. And I'm going to have all my sports mixed in there, so I don't have to reach for gels on my bike, and it can be more aero. And I'm just going to try and so the idea is I come out of transition T1 and I have everything to go. And then when I mean everything, what I actually will do also is I'll start the swim with 3 gels in my back pocket, because why not? I did a few Ironmans this year. I started with gels in my pocket, so it's just something you just don't have to do. You know, you don't have to come out of a T1 and putting stuff in your pockets or doing the same. I had gels in my pockets that I saved. I put in before the swim, and I carry them in the swim, in the bike, for the run transition, for the run, just so I didn't waste some time in T1 or T2 to take the gels out from my pocket. So I just put 3 of these in my pocket, look at that. And then I've got all my running nutrition. So the run is 18, I think it's 18 and a half kilometers. So that should be, you know, let's say you're doing, well, not me. Let's say you do like an hour 10, hour 15, because I'm a slow runner at the moment. So it's 1 gel every 20 minutes, you know? So it's not too bad. And if I have enough carbohydrate intake on the bike, I should be loaded for the run already. And because the swim is relatively short, you don't burn so much of your glycogen stores in the swim. Because the thing is with an Ironman, when you do like the full distance, you spend almost an hour of just depleting glycogen stores, because you can't take any fluid in on any carbohydrate during the swim. So you're always playing catch up. That's what a lot of guys forget. That's why you should take so much nutrition, especially at the start of the bike, because you've just depleted 1 hour of nutrition, and you don't get that back. You don't, and your body can only absorb a certain amount. And talking about that, if you follow Ashka, he's a pretty cool guy, he does a lot of studies in that, and it was believed in the past you could consume 80 grams of carbs per hour. That went to, what was it, 60? Anyway, that was a long time ago. Then it went to, I definitely went to 80, then it went to 90, and then just recently I read in the last year was 120. Now, I've always stomached more than that. I could stomach way more than that, around 200. If I absorb it, something different. But if you can stomach it, why not? You know, if you don't have any digestive problems with it, why not? So this thing holds 1.5 liters and I'm going to aim for 150 grams per hour, maybe a bit more, maybe like 160. And how I'll do that is there's two products that Never Second have, which is the C30 and C90. Now, to be honest, I don't know the difference. I really do not know the difference of the two. Obviously, 90 was better because it's a higher number. But I just took the stuff because I knew what C30 was because I was taking this always from the start. And when I was looking for details, the difference between them is not major, but very important. It's actually very important. Now, the C90 has 387 calories per 100, where the C30 has 375. So that is 12 calories more per 100. Not huge. I wouldn't even worry about that. But you've got to read the fine print because the fine print is really important. Now the C90 has 50.54 grams of salt per 100, and the salt in the C30 has 1.56. So that is like 2.97 or something. It's about 3 times more. So it's 3 times more salt content in here. Watch the fine print because this is important. Because if you're, depending on your tactics or how you deal with salt, I'm a person that doesn't need so much salt. I just don't need so much salt. So if I was doing like a super long ride and just cruising, and I wasn't trying to improve my fat metabolism, I would just be having this one because I wouldn't be drinking so much, so I'd be having this one. But in a race situation, if you're sensitive to salt or you don't like having salt, then C90 is the one to go. So I'll do that. Now the C90 comes in, well, I got it from Never Second in these sachets? What? I don't know what they're called. It's a sachets. And in here, there's 94 grams per serving, which is pretty cool because that means I only need 3 to get my 300 grams of energy. So that's just ideal. And what I will do is I'll put this in here. I will put 2 extra gels in the mix because more is always better. No, but I can stomach it. And this is today's training. Today's training is stimulating the race. So that's why I've just got all this out, and I thought I'd just do a video at the same time. And I'll put 3 in my pocket before the swim for the run. So that means in the whole event, on the bike, I don't need to get a single bottle, don't need to slow down, don't need to reaccelerate. No, just accelerate. I don't have to accelerate again. And I can just hold the position, just get out of T1, hold the position, ride around, back to T2, back to T1, which is called T2. And then off the bike, shoes on, run. Prepared for the nutrition for the whole run. The run should be relatively short and time-wise. And I just need to take maybe 1 or 2 waters, depending. If I'm well hydrated, you could possibly only do half the run, 30 minutes, with a little bit of fluid, and then the last 30 minutes, don't. Like me personally, I would not take so much fluid. It's a 1 day event, and it's pretty cool climate that time of the year. And if you ever had that feeling you're a little bit bloated in the stomach, then for me, if you're too bloated in the stomach, that's taking, like in my previous team, we had a lot of salt content, a lot more than this. And I had trouble. And because what happens is, this is just my experience, what happens is when a product has too much salt content, it makes you drink more, which you think is a benefit, but sometimes you can overdrink. And then you sort of just you just feel bloated, you know what I mean? And on the bike, you can handle that. But if you got to run, no, you don't want that. And I actually and don't take this advice at all, I actually like the feeling of being a little bit dehydrated. I just feel, you just like, I shouldn't say a little dehydrated. I should say just not bloated. Just you just feel more leaner. You just feel more lighter than just having the stomach with water coming around, swirling around. So that's what I'm going to do, and I should be able to knock off by not stopping in transition, getting extra nutrition, not slowing down on the bike, and not looking for nutrition to go on to run probably a whole minute. Wow, that's so much time. No, but you know, it's just to be efficient, you know, and not to have setbacks. You can be on the bike and just focus and not lose your focus. That's very important. And you don't need frustrating situations where you have a guy in front of you and you miss a bottle and you're like, I needed that one, you know, and then it's in your head, you know, where I can hop on the bike, go, I'm set, just go. And that's the biggest gain actually, when you have a really good setup and you have all your nutrition with you, and it's just, yeah, that's to me, that's the biggest key. And also to know that, like, I love the taste of these, I really do. And what I notice is, in the Ironman events, that you start taking nutrition that's not what you're used to, and that's in the feed stations, and some of them taste horrible. And not to talk about other brands, but Power Bar did a study, and they this is 15 years ago or something, and it proved that if you like the nutrition, it's actually performance enhancing. It actually gives a little dopamine effect, and you feel more positive and you perform better. So for me to be able to carry what I enjoy and having it on the run also is important to me. And because I know that study, it's in my head. I'm like, yeah, because that also helps, you know, placebo effect. So that's it. Now I'm going to fill this thing up and I'm going to race stimulate next week. I'll do the whole bike, obviously, but I will not do the run. I will only do a little bit of the run, and then I will go for another swim. I'll do a swim right now, and then I'll go. Thank you.